Hey everyone, it's Tiff Tinney. Thank you so much for joining and tuning into my video. Today I will be discussing manifestations. I am super excited and I hope you are as excited as I am because this is a topic that I'm very passionate about. And as I discuss manifestations, I'm correlating it to share a little bit about me and how I manifested prior to joining a personal development program, and then how I am manifesting now that I have been in a journey of personal development with my mentors, Wesley Virgin and Ariella Iorio. So, a little bit about me. I grew up in a spiritual household. My father is a medium, so I've always, believed in spiritualism and telling the future, reading cards and things like that. My father is not a gypsy. He's not a psychic where you go to a shop and you see psychic readings and you get scammed or whatever. My father actually never had a business. He only provided these services to people who were his close family, friends, and colleagues throughout his career. So this is something that I grew up in, and it's funny because I'm not here to talk about, I'm not going to kind of get into the weeds in this, but I wanted to kind of set that background first because one of the things that I manifested through, I guess, my dad was my son and my current job. So it's funny because it's a period of growth that you go through, but at the same time it comes in different forms that you don't even think is possible. So let me just tell you what I mean. So for example, one time I had a reading with my dad, and this was about 6 or 7 years ago, and he had revealed to me that I will be having a child. Anyone who knows me knows that I was not interested in having children. And when my father said that, I remember thinking like, yeah, I don't think so, Dad. And he's like, no, you're gonna have one, and when you do, it's going to be a boy. And I remember him looking down and saying, wow, they're sending me the image, and it's a boy. You're gonna have a boy. And I'm like, okay, if you say so. And that was it. We went through other things, but that's what sticks out of my mind because a couple years later I indeed got pregnant, and I had a boy. And it's funny because I knew I was going to have a boy because I remember my father telling me, you're gonna have a boy. And the other funny thing is that when I mentioned it to my dad, sometimes he doesn't recall what happens in readings because he is just the medium and he's speaking on behalf of a spirit that's talking to him. So sometimes he doesn't recall, like so much time down the line, things that he says because of this. So I remember reminding him, like, Dad, you said I was going to have a boy, and he was like, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. And I just think it's amazing. But for those non-believers, you can take it either way. I had my father telling me this, so this was in my subconscious, and it was something that was set in my subconscious, that my internal environment, that the universe delivered, because as they say, it was kind of set in stone because it was something that I believed was going to happen, right? But it was on a subconscious level, right? So you can take it either way. I can tell you that I have the ultimate faith in my dad. He's my dad, and I've seen him in progress, like in working the cards and working when doing his work, and there's nothing fake about it. But like I said, I also manifested this because of something that he told me was going to happen. At the end of the day, I have the choice to, the future can be subjective, based on what you want to happen. It's based on your desire. So even though I didn't know that I desired a child, the universe made it happen. And before I even knew the gender of my son, I knew he was going to be a boy. And of course, when I got the call, I found out that he was a boy, and I already had an outfit already available because I knew I was going to get the call on a specific day with the results, and I already had an outfit available, a boy's outfit available, to show my husband, to congratulate my husband on having, on his boy. And it was just a confirmation of manifestation, but I didn't even know I was manifesting. For me, it was like, Dad, you were right? And he was right? Another thing that I manifested was my current job. So in my current role, like, I'm an HR professional. I've been in the HR world for several years, and I have, a well-rounded experience in all sectors of HR. I am originally from New York, and I moved to New Jersey, and I lived in an apartment, but then it was time, like, we always knew that we wanted to get a house, and it felt like it was time to start looking, but we were a little hesitant because we didn't know if we were going to be ready. But I don't know, sometimes you're ready, sometimes you don't even know you're ready when you are ready. So I had a reading with my dad, and it wasn't house related. When I have readings with him, I don't tell him why I want to have a reading. We just have a reading, right? So I just get this feeling, and I'm like, Dad, it's time. Can I have a reading? And he gives me a reading, and that's it. Now, this particular reading, he told me that I will be getting a new job soon, and I remember he looked up at me during the reading, and he said, are you looking for a job? And honestly, guys, 100%, I swear to God, I did not tell him that I was looking for a job, right? There's just a topic that just never really came up. And he said, you looking for a job? And I said, yeah, I am. And he's like, why? And I'm like, well, because I'm sick of traveling to New York. It's getting harder and harder to get to New York. I'm not that happy at work. And he said, yeah, I can see you're not happy. He's like, there's someone there, and he described this person. He said, you're very close to her, but I want you to stop talking to her too much because she's talking to other people about the things that you're saying to her. So, and he gave me some details, but that's not the important stuff. The important thing is, he said, you're going to find this job. And he said, don't worry, you're going to find the job that you were meant to be at, and you're going to be making more money, okay? And he said, the job that you're going to get is the one that you interview with two men. There's going to be two men there. One is bald. The other one has hair. But these are the people that are going to hire you, and this is where you're going to be happy. So I said, okay, I believe it, because look, my dad is the real deal, right? So funny enough, I landed an interview with a company that when I get to the interview room, like the conference room to interview, they tell me to hang tight. The person I will be interviewing will be right in, and here comes along two men, and I was like, oh, okay, it's two men, great. So the interview went very well. It went, I left there feeling very positive about it. I had the skill set that they needed. I remember as soon as I left the interview, I called my dad and I said, Dad, like, can you believe it? I just had an interview and it was with 2 guys. And he's like, okay. And I said, remember you told me it was going to be 2 guys? Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah. Good. You know, just let's see what happens. You know, did it go good or whatever? I'm like, Dad, it went amazing. Great. So he, afterward, I learned that I wasn't selected for the job. Actually, I found out that they tried to reach out to my colleague as well, and that's how I learned that they were still looking. So I was like, oh, Dad, that was not true. Like, you said I was gonna interview with 2 guys. And I kid you not, guys, it's like when you lose, like, you know what that feeling like when you are looking for something and you can't find it, and as soon as you stop looking, it comes to you? That's exactly how manifestations work. You should know what you want, but you are not supposed to know how it's gonna happen, okay? So I know you're probably thinking, well, why are you going to readings? You're not supposed to know how it's gonna happen. It doesn't matter. He told me that how, you know, what he saw, but you're not supposed to know how it's supposed to happen. I kid you not, guys. I was on LinkedIn one day and I saw a message that I had received, and I read it like 3 weeks prior. And something, you know, it was from a recruiter, and something said it said, hey, we have a position available. Here's, you know, some highlights of it. This is what they're looking for. Let us know if you would be interested. Honestly, I am, you know, I try to stay away from working with recruiters because sometimes the process can be so long, and, you know, you have to go in an interview with them, and then they present your information, and, you know, it just sometimes it's not worth it. But this particular time, I looked at it again, and I said, let's see if this job is available. So I reached out to the guy. I said, hey, is this still available? And he replied, and quickly he said, yeah, absolutely, it is, and let's chat. So I said, okay. So I scheduled an appointment with him, and it was a call. I went through my skill set. He went through what they were looking for. He thought that I would be a great match, and he asked me permission to present my resume to them. I said absolutely. They were interested. We scheduled an interview. Okay. The recruiters didn't even want to meet with me. They thought I was presentable enough over the phone. They liked my credentials, and they knew I would be professional. So, interview day. Guess what? I meet with 2 gentlemen. I can tell you that it was, one gentleman was bald, the other one had hair. However, the difference in this one was that I met with them separately, okay? But the only 2 people I met with were 2 men. For some reason, I was hung up on the fact that my father said I would meet with 2 men. I thought it would be 2 men in the same room at the same time. That's what I assumed that. This is what I assumed, I guess, in how he said it. So I met with 1 man first, and then after that, immediately after that, I met with the president of the company, who was another man. And the interview went super well. I was there for about 3 hours, maybe even 3.5 hours. And after I left, I didn't call my dad. You want to know why? Because I didn't even think about it as that interview, as this is the job, because I met with 2 men. I, like I said, was hung up on the fact that the job that I'm going to get is with 2 men in the same room. I don't know why I always thought same room, because that's not what my dad said. He just said you will be meeting with 2 men. He didn't say in the same room. So I wasn't thinking about it. Honestly, I knew the interview went well, but the interview went well in the last one as well. So I kept my hopes high, but I wasn't thinking about the reading. The same day, I got a call from the recruiter with an offer. With an offer, okay? And I was ecstatic. And then after that, I was like, I got an offer. This is the job. And then I remembered what my father said after that. And I said, holy shit. That's when I called my dad. And I said, Dad, I got the job. I got a job. I interviewed with 2 men. One was bald, one had hair. And, he was like, I told you, sweetie. This is how it works. You just gotta let things happen. That's how it works, And he's like, more money? I said, a lot more money. And, convenience of them being 13 minutes away from me. Like, it was perfect. Okay? Now, another thing that I wanted to mention as well, another thing that I forgot to point out was I mentioned the house and how I manifested my house and everything like that, but it kind of goes hand in hand with the job, because what happened was I was in an apartment in New Jersey, and my husband and I started looking at houses, and although we thought we were not seriously looking, we quickly found out that we were. And we had visited a house the same week that we met, selected a broker, and she started taking us around to see open houses. And there was a house that was new to the market, and once we visited it, it blew our minds. Like, it was everything we wanted. It felt right. When we went to the kids' rooms, because the owner was still living there, so they had kids. Their other rooms outside of the master room were for their children, and their children were toddlers. And when I opened the closet, I saw children's clothes in the closet, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see my son's clothes in there. I saw the whole layout. I said, this is perfect. We went to the backyard, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look, our son can play out there. And it just felt right. And, after that, we knew the price. I knew that we could not afford it. Although we were pre-approved for the house amount, we knew that we could not afford it. Even though the bank says we could, we knew that we would not be able to live comfortably with it. And I remember thinking, okay, I know my worth. I know I'm not making nearly as much as I should be making, so I'm going to look for something so we can actually make this happen. And I desired it so much that we were in the process of buying a house. We already made the offer. We were selected. And I remember thinking, and I didn't even interview yet with this job. I remember thinking that I needed to start interviewing, but I didn't even go through that process yet. So I was just like, Lord, if this was meant to be, let them select us. If we are not selected, because we did make an offer, we made an offer, and I said, if we're not selected, then it wasn't meant to be. Lord, I leave this in your hands. I'm gonna let go, because I'm a control freak. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let go, and I'm gonna let God. And long behold, the broker called me and said, I have good news and I have bad news. And she said, what do you want to hear first? And I said, the bad news. And she said, well, you're gonna have to start packing, because the great news is that they selected you and they accepted your offer. And I said, oh my gosh, this is great news, but how am I gonna afford this? Okay, and that's when everything just came together, and I manifested a job for what I thought my worth was. And that's a very important word that I just said, for what I thought my worth was, because we put these limitations on ourselves, on what we think we're worth. And these are things that you're doing to you. Why do you think you're only worth, I don't know, 80,000, 40,000, 50,000? Like, why? Where do you get that number from? I had a number in my head, and I said, okay, I know I could be making at least this. Guess what? That's what I ended up with. At least that. That's what guys, I say this because it's insane how it works. It's manifestations. You know your worth, and that's what you get. That's what you get. I said to myself, I know I can make at least that. The world said, the universe said, yep, well, you're going to get at least that. That you're going to get, that's the number you're going to get. So guys, let's go to post personal development, program. Now that I enrolled in this program with Wesley Virgin, I've been kind of following it. He's been reconditioning my mind. He has a vested interest in my success. He works with a whole group of people who are like-minded, just like I am, who are looking to manifest their dreams, their wealth, their health, success. And then in addition to that, he also has programs that help you make money to kind of help you with that wealth and help you realize your dreams and how to optimize your life, basically. Okay, if you're interested, the link is below. It's called the Overnight Millionaire, guys. It's the best thing that you will ever join in your life. Okay, forget the other programs that you've been in. If you haven't been receiving results, this is the one that you need to go in. But anyway, my point is, I'm a mentee. Wesley and Ariella are my mentors, and ever since I've joined them, they teach you how to recondition your mind to manifest quicker, to manifest, period. Because you do it subconsciously all the time. So they're helping me change my internal environment, my thoughts, my mind, to align, even my body, my soul, everything, to align with the universe and send a coherent message to the universe. So I get my external environment, my results are what my internal environment is bringing out into my external environment, if that makes sense. So basically, I'm trying to make it make sense, and I just get so excited about it. It's hard to explain, but let me try again. So what happens is, I'm trying to send a coherent message from my internal environment out to my external. I've spent so many years of my life living in a certain way within a certain environment that you have to recondition your mind, and it takes time because you spent years one way. So having said all of this, with this program that I've been working on, which has been absolutely amazing to say the least, I'm learning how to manifest my dreams in a more coherent and clear way. Under this program, you learn to recondition your mind. Techniques such as meditation techniques, visualization, and which is all about meditating and just visualizing. You have to remember, you get what you picture in life. You get what your thoughts are. And people don't realize this, but it's a powerful thing. The universe will grant you your desires if you know how to desire it and how to manifest it right and correctly. Okay, so this is an important message, everyone. You have to get on board, because if you're looking to optimize your life and really, make your worth limitless, because we're the ones who put limits on ourselves. How do you stop that? You're so used to doing it. How do you stop that? You got to stop it, and you need a mentor to be able to guide you through that process. Guys, Wesley and Ariella have made themselves available to me at any point when they're needed. We have weekly meetings. We go through guided meditations. They really hone in on everything that needs to be done to maintain your growth, okay? Because it's easy to kind of fall out because you've been, once you're in something, sometimes you life gets in the way and you're like, oh, I can't do that. They're like, get back in, let's do this. They're always on top of you. And if you're looking for something like that, and you're not just looking for a one and done, for someone who's looking to make money off of you and just leave you alone to, fend for yourself, guys, this is the program to be in. Because although we're manifesting, everyone manifests their desires. For example, it has to be said, I mean, we just had a tropical storm out here, and before we bought this house, I remember thinking, while we were going through the inspection, I remember saying, that tree gotta go. I don't like that tree over my house. And the agent said, oh, the tree's fine. I mean, I have a whole bunch of trees over my house and it's no issues. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel too good about that tree. It doesn't seem like, if anything happens, like I just don't want it over my house. She said, okay, well, you have the option to remove it, blah, blah, blah. That was a year and a half ago. The tree fell on our house 2 weeks ago. I manifested it. And after that happened, I said, holy shit, I manifested that. Yeah, because that is something that I always had in my mind. And it was always an internal thought. And the universe said, okay, well, this is what you want. And I said, no, this is what I didn't want. The universe doesn't understand what that means. They don't understand what you don't want. They understand what you keep thinking about. So they're going to deliver that. It's as simple as that. But at the same time, you have to be able to understand and control that, so you know how to manifest positive things in life. Okay? So I hope that you really gain some value through my sharing of my story. And I hope that you take action now, because, many of you will not take action and click that link, but the people who are ready for that next step of just self-discovery and optimizing their life and reconditioning their mindset will take the next step by clicking the link, because it's a program. Honestly, the cost of it is not nearly as much as it should be, and it's something that is just you're missing out on. So having said that, guys, I hope that you also hit that subscribe button, because I do plan on sharing much more valuable information on this channel. And in order for you to be notified, you should be subscribed, so you know when I'm adding videos. So please share some love, subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and click that link below. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.